What's up, guys? Welcome back to Respect the North. I'm Natalie.
And I am Chanelle.
How you doing?
I'm good. Feeling colorful.
Groovy. Happy.
Yeah, summertime vibes.
You got the fun apparel on today.
You got the Raps gear on. Can we talk about it?
I mean, we're in the finals.
And I'm bandwagon. I'm so excited.
It's all good, girl. We're all huge fans of the Raptors right now, so.
Our city's pretty crazy right now.
And you know, we're the North. And in the North, there's ice.
What?
And we're gonna break it at the beginning of our episode.
Yes, as per usual. And then we're gonna talk about interracial relationships and our experience with interracial relationships.
Oh yeah. And on the topic of relationships, we have some progression and regression in terms of gay rights and marriage. So we'll dive into that a little bit deeper later on.
And of course, we have to finish with This Week in Toronto, our TWIT segment. So stay tuned for that.
Ready?
Yes,
Let's go. You ready to break the ice?
I'm nervous.
Let's break some ice. Okay. To match my nails.
No?
Thank you, next.
Yeah, no, not that one. No, not that one.
All right. If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would you ask?
This is a good one. I think I have mine.
So go.
Did Jesus really exist?
That is the most pressing question in your life?
It didn't say in my life, did it?
Well,
I want to know. It's interesting.
there's no question more important to you than that?
No, because everything else happens for a reason. So I want to know because there's always this debate of like
Evolution.
Yeah, so want to know, did Jesus exist?
Okay.
Is he real?
And if you found out that he didn't,
Maybe I shouldn't phrase it like that.
if you found out he never existed, and evolution is actually, how would that change your life?
It wouldn't, because I don't subscribe to a denomination. I'm spiritual.
So why do you want to know so badly then?
So that when I'm having conversations, I have facts. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I know it would be like terrifying to know, but I would kind of want to ask this mystery answering person how I'd die.
Natalie.
Because I'd try and avoid it.
What? Wow, I did not think she was going there.
No, because I mean, death is something that we all fear,
It's
right?
inevitable, yeah.
So I'd kind of want to know how it would happen so that I could avoid it.
Yeah, but then you are constantly thinking about it as you're living, and then that's no way to live. Like, that's like living with like cancer and the doctor says you have 6 weeks to die. Like, it's not always accurate, of course, but now you're like, oh my god, I gotta do all this stuff, and then when the 6 weeks comes, you're like, why am I still here?
That's true. And then I'd be like super paranoid my whole life.
Yeah, you're like, oh, don't step on a crack because you're gonna like, yeah.
I just get swallowed into a sinkhole or something,
That was a good question. I like that one.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
Ours are both like on the other ends of the spectrum.
What would you want to know the absolute truth to?
Comment.
Yeah, let us know.
So recently an article was issued on the Global News, and it had to do with the fact that 15% of Canadians will never date outside of their race, which was kind of weird. It also stated how interracial relationships were becoming more common in urban cities like Toronto, Vancouver, but in rural areas, of course, it wasn't really.
I think it's inevitable in big cities.
Exactly. It's so common. We see commercials like the Cheerios commercials with interracial relationships. Yeah. It's normal now.
And it's like, we're in 2019. Can we get over the color of our skin? I understand history, okay, and how important it is to certain cultural groups, but like in terms of finding love, I don't think there's any difference when the tone of your skin is different than mine.
It's like, it's iffy. It's not, I don't think they're, in the grand scheme of things, it's not different, but at the same time, it's just like, sometimes you feel more connected to someone who is of the same cultural background.
Oh, I totally get that.
Or race, right?
But sometimes opposites attract, right?
I agree. So have you dated outside your race?
Yes, I have. I've dated outside of my race many times, actually.
Okay.
I've only had one like white boyfriend in high school. Mm-hmm. See, like I had a long-term relationship and he was European. Mm-hmm. And yes, he was like fair like me, but I don't consider like Europe. This is going to be controversial. I don't consider European white.
What?
Well, like, yes, the color of his skin is
what
white.
What kind of European? Like
he was
Eastern European?
Oh, God.
Because black people...
He might watch this.
Black people think differently.
He was Albanian, so like...
Oh, that's white, girl.
No, yeah, he is white. Mm-hmm. But like, when I think of like white people, mm-hmm. I'm thinking like Irish, Scottish, English... Newfie, mm-hmm. you know, like Canadians that's like 6 generations back.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you.
Like for me, European is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And I understand how like different races might not see the differentiation. Mm-hmm. But other than him and the high school guy, everyone else has been a different race.
But okay, what other races have you dated? Or has it just been one other race outside of your own race?
No. I mean, like, I had a very short relationship with someone who was Persian. Oh. And then I had a few boyfriends who were, like, of Latino culture. Mm-hmm. And a mixed, like, black and white mm-hmm. boyfriend, and then a black boyfriend, and I'm just, you know. I mean, like, so aside from South Asian and like Arab, mm-hmm. I haven't really like explored those realms, but yeah, I'm pretty open.
Yeah, okay.
How about you?
I'm like laughing. I've only had one. I dated 2 guys outside of my race. One was Italian, but I don't consider him white. And
what? Yeah.
Italians to black
because
people.
He's European?
I don't know. It's because I don't want to use the word cultured, but for me as a black person, I don't consider Italians white. I don't.
But why? See, that's the same way that I was explaining about the Albanian guy.
Yeah, no, I get it.
European is kind of like its own... It's not a race, mm-hmm. but it's like different from white.
Categorize it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I really don't know why, but I don't consider... Wholeheartedly, I don't consider Italians as white. Okay. And my very first...
What about, say, like, French people? Because they're right next to Italy.
They're white!
See, that doesn't make any damn sense! That doesn't make any damn sense!
But
why? Because Italians
white,
are
they're
generally...
not white. Like, French people are white, but they're not white. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, French people, from France, they're
yeah, not French Canadians. That's a different
French Canadians
genre.
are white, but like French people, they're white, but they're not white. I don't know.
So therefore, by your definition of Italian and French, I am not white.
Oh yeah, you're Italian and French. Well, like, I don't know how to explain it. That's how I perceive it. My first real relationship was with a guy. He was Greek. Well, his dad was Greek. His mom was white Canadian, like generations in. So that was interesting. Like,
did you consider him white? Like, based on his Greekness or Canadianness? Because, like, his Greekness, by your definition and my definition, is like...
That's not white.
Not white.
Yeah.
But then he's mixed with, like, white.
Mm-hmm. He was definitely white because where we grew up, where everything, like, the school and everything, he was white. So, yeah, that my definition.
He was white by behavior.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a huge difference.
Big difference.
Yeah. Okay. And he's the only one?
Yeah, just the two.
So you like the brothers, eh?
Do you think that interracial relationships come from a form of fetishization? Like, how do you feel about that?
If we're talking about like black guy with white girl, I don't know if it's so much of a fetish because of the stereotype about how black women are like boisterous and you know like
Attitudes and et cetera,
yeah,
et cetera, yeah.
I think that a lot of it's all a generalization, right?
Yeah,
but that
of
black guys go for white girls because they're nicer and they're calmer and they're
Easy.
more meek and they're more easy and easygoing and they'll let shit happen and pass and like they won't fight back. But I don't think like I'm a fetish.
Seeing
I
as
don't
though
know.
you've
I mean, I do have like some. I don't have a stereotypical white body.
No, you
But
don't.
now
She doesn't.
Nowadays, like all races are curvy too, right?
Yeah.
Ever since like the whole Kim Kardashian movement, whatever, right? J-Lo, whatever. But like, do you feel like you've ever been fetishized?
Yeah, but not in my relationship with a white guy, just in general. Like, I've been on dating sites and I feel like it's the first time I'm actually saying it's a big deal. And I feel like guys, guys have said, like, oh, I've never been with a black girl. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you ain't gonna get me. Next. Like, it's just, I feel like I'm just like a little toy, like meat, and I'm dangling, and it's like, let me try this.
Yeah.
And I
little
don't
sample station.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't like it. So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna go that route because black guys don't make me feel like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's
They
fair.
make me feel
and
comfortable.
Like, when I've been with a black guy, like he almost prided himself. He was like, oh, you've never been with a black guy before.
I don't like that.
Like, I'm gonna ruin you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I've been with a guy who was mixed, white and black, and heard how he's not a real black guy. I'm a real black guy.
Yeah,
And
well, I
it's
feel like other black men look at mixed guys like that, but like black women don't. Depending on how you look, is how we would be like, okay, yeah, that person's black, or like Obama's black, but Logic, the rapper, is not black to us. Like,
Is DJ Envy black?
he's Hispanic. To me, in my head, he's Dominican,
Yeah,
but he's not. But that's how we classify.
Because DJ Envy is very, very, very fair for those of you that don't know.
Yeah.
But he's Dominican and Puerto Rican. And
Is he? No, I don't think he's even. No, he's black. His dad is black.
You know, I'm not Puerto Rican or Dominican.
We swear we
I
claim
know
it.
everybody swears that I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican or I'm
claim
Latino.
it.
I'm not. I'm actually African American full.
Yeah.
That's why he's like, I'm
black
not.
from where, though? I
Oh
thought it
yeah,
was
that's
Dominican.
true. That's true. Well, he always says he's not Dominican. Well, on the radio, I don't know, for some reason, he's like, I'm not Dominican, I'm not Dominican. And I'm just like, oh, you look like you are.
Huh.
So it's kind of like, it varies, but I feel like with white guys, I feel like, especially the age that I am, like, I feel like it's a fetish thing. When I was younger, I don't know why I didn't feel that way, but now, yeah, I feel like, ooh, black girl, ooh, like, shaved sides, and she's different, and like, 2 nose rings, and like, yeah, I'm just not with the shits.
And I mean, you have a voluptuous body, like
That too.
a little bit of flavor. Because you know what they say about white people? There's no spice on white people.
Just salt and pepper, that's what they say.
It's not true.
Natalie got a little flavor.
I eat lots of spice. I can outspice you.
Don't say that. You know what? Like, white women, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but women never have to say, oh, I'm gonna try and date a black man because white guys are like this. Like, black women usually go through that, like, oh, okay, black guys are not doing it no more and they're running me through problems, so let me date a white guy. Do white women go through that? Like, I've always wanted to ask that question.
I mean, I've never had that thought, like, where I'm like, oh, this white guy cheated on me, so let me try a black guy. I mean, I've heard different things, like Charlemagne the God always says, black men don't cheat. tea.
Exactly. That's why
Men of all races.
that's why I sipped my tea. I wasn't saying anything about black guys.
I don't even know where I was going with
I
that.
love black guys. Trust me, I love black guys.
But yeah, I've never had that thought where I'm like, oh, this race isn't doing it for me. Let me try a different race. It's just kind of like, I'm attracted to a guy. We vibe really well.
Let's go with the
Let's
flow.
try it. So
Yeah, a lot of black women think like that. Okay, you know what? Let me try this because this is not working. And it kind of shows like how black women are kind of at the bottom of the pickings.
But as a black woman, I want to touch on this because as a white woman in a relationship with a black man, I often feel like black women don't like to see that because of the whole notion that I'm like stealing one of their men. And it makes me really uncomfortable, to be completely honest. Like,
Yeah. Okay, let me try and explain from my point of view. So I think it can come off like that because it's just like, I hope she's not, first I hope is he didn't go to her because he's tired of black women. That's one. It's like, okay, so he doesn't like black women, so let me go to white women. That's what we're always, for me, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I hope that's not the case, right? I hope it's just that he likes this person or he loves this woman because of who she is, and she just so happens to be white. It's not because she's white.
Yeah.
Right? And that goes for any race, like for me. Also, it's just like, it's tough to swallow. In the beginning, it's tough to swallow. Like, I have a lot of nieces and nephews that are biracial, like of different mixes. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but it comes down to, I hope he's not fetishizing her, and I hope she's not fetishizing them, and I hope the end result is not to have kids that have good hair or that look a lighter skin tone, because usually I find a lot of black guys, I'm gonna be straight up, the guys that I've experienced in Toronto, it's like, oh, I want light skinned kids, or I want this. I'm like, okay, well, buddy, you're fresh out of luck, because I ain't light skinned. Like, I'm dark skinned, so that's not happening. And so, yeah, it's kind of like, unfortunately, it goes back to slavery and that mentality. So we have that thought process like, oh, we're not good enough.
I feel like now more than ever, though, we're finally starting to realize the beauty in, like, dark-skinned women and how, like, I can't remember her name, but she's really, really, really famous. And she's an actress. I think.
Oh, Lupita.
Yes. And she's like revolutionary because of how like dark and beautiful she is.
And her hair,
you know?
like, sure, it's her natural hair. Like, she embraces everything natural.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need that. And I feel like if we have more representations of black women like that, then we won't be so worried about if a black man is dating X, Y, and Z. Like, it doesn't really matter.
At the end of the day, I just feel like you should date whoever you want to date.
Yeah.
You know, be in love with whoever you want to be in love with. It's your own business. And like in 50 years, everyone's gonna be damn beige anyways.
I feel
so.
I do. But black men do have an issue with black women dating white guys. I'm just saying, but we'll talk about that another day.
Ooh. Sip that tea. Okay, girl. So on the Shade Room recently, I saw an article about how the Alabama public television channel station refused to air an episode of Arthur. You know, the cartoon with like
when we were younger,
from way back 90s, where his teacher, Mr. Ratburn, had
I do.
Side note, where he had a gay wedding ceremony, and so they refused to air it because, you know, Alabama's in the Bible Belt, and they chose to play a rerun because they want to shield the eyes of the innocent children. Do you think kids can, quote unquote, learn to be gay from TV? Do you think this is a hot button issue? Do you think kids learn it from seeing it?
I don't.
Or become it?
I don't think
from exposure.
I don't think. Okay, so if there's a percentage, I don't think. Let's say out of 100, of course, I think that 80% of kids, or maybe 90% of kids just know. Maybe,
that they are?
Yes, that they are gay. They know. Or maybe 95. I do think some behaviors can be learned. Some, like, I can't put away the fact that it's just all, like, they know. Just like heterosexuality, like, it's learned. We see our parents together all the time. It's learned until you experience something else or you see something else. You're like, and you start to question.
So you're saying for a few, it might
Yes.
spark curiosity.
Yeah, 5%.
Right? Okay, okay, I can see that. I definitely don't think that watching a TV show,
An episode.
like, will... I think if your child has a weird feeling and hasn't yet expressed it to you, when they do express it, it's not a result of them having watched something.
Yeah.
It maybe watching something will make them feel more comfortable, that it's more societally acceptable
It's a trigger,
to.
yeah.
But like, I don't think children are influenced to become gay
No.
by like external surroundings.
And I think you should have all types of representations. Like, for me as a black person, it's hard for me to say, yeah, I'm totally against gay rights and gay marriages and gay relationships, because they are of a minority group too. Like, that just to me doesn't really make much sense. And I get it, like, a lot of black people will refer back in the day, like slavery times and stuff like that, in regards to why they're against gay unions. But at the same time, for me to put down another minority group when I'm in a minority too, I just
Tell me what slavery has to do with them disagreeing with homosexual relations.
Okay, so for one aspect is like buck breaking. So what they call, and that's why a lot of people were just like, the movie Get Out was like really like a trigger for them, because I think it was the father had the head of a buck. And so buck breaking is when they would make black men have sex with other black men in front of their wives and their kids.
To humiliate them.
Exactly. And to demasculize them. And so that's why a lot of Caribbean people are against homosexuality, because it's just like
Strongly.
Exactly. Very strong. And it brings them back to our to that time. And so I understand that, but as a minority, as I said, as a minority, for me to be completely against or just be like, I don't like this, truthfully, I don't really care. Like, if whatever makes you happy makes you happy. I don't care who you sleep with, as long as you're happy. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's whatever happens behind closed doors in your bedroom.
It's not our business.
I don't see who you sleep with. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care who he sleeps with. It's his own damn business.
I don't care. Yeah.
But I definitely feel like it's not right to have that type of censorship, because there's that old mentality where if you see it, then it will influence you.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, I just feel like children need to understand that if you are questioning yourself, you need to see something that will enforce that it is okay to be who you are.
Representation. It's key in the media.
There you go.
Whether it's, I like black represent. I like to see that there are a black person in a movie. For someone who identifies as gay, they want to see someone representing them. It's just, everybody wants to see someone who looks like them or acts like them or is like them. Why can't they have that?
Yeah. And
Point blank.
We're not in North Korea.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think no more censorship.
So now it's time for TWIT, aka This Week in Toronto. And we are featuring the famous festival North by Northeast. And it happens every year around this time. It's usually a week or so long. So this year's from June 7th to the 16th.
Okay.
And they have a free festival the last few days on the 14th and the 16th is down at Young and Dundas Square. This year's featuring LaKaylee 47 and Santiago. They're the headliners, so to speak. And it's a gaming and music festival. And they have little club events with little bands featuring every night for the week.
Have you ever been?
I have.
Yeah?
I think Janae Ayeko, if I'm correct, came years ago when I was younger. Years ago, she came. I don't remember what other artists came, but I haven't been.
The one that's with Kevin Hart?
No.
Oh, okay.
Janae, Big Sean's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it was this. I don't know if it was this or it was Manifesto, but I remember her coming down to Young and Dundas Square. But I've been like years and years ago. I haven't been for the last few years. But
I've never been there, but I've always heard about it.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. For the other events, you have to get a wristband. Like the club events, the gaming events, you can get a wristband. I think it's $30 and you can go to all the events. But the Young and Dundas Square for the 14th to the 16th is actually free. So if you guys want to go, you guys should check it out. It's going to be a lot of new artists that you may not be familiar with. You can get
And
familiar.
for the first time ever, you can go to the concert and smoke something else legally.
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
Go Toronto! Alright guys, thank you so much for watching our 7th episode. Make sure to check out all of our previous episodes and keep rocking with us. We've had a blast.
Yeah, it was a good conversation today.
Yeah, so, tell your friends all about it. Like, comment, subscribe,
follow us.
watch it a couple times because we're hilarious.
Exactly.
And see you next time.
See ya.